Eyeliner died 20 years ago.
Remember when I said that and everyone got really, really mad? Okay, they stopped listening. You can still do a liner look, but every makeup artist that I personally know uses shadows as liner. They are not using a pencil. Because let's be real, you're never gonna get a pencil to do this. You could probably start with a pencil, but you're going to need a little bitty brush. And in order to use a little bitty brush very effectively, you have to be sitting down. You have to be comfortable. You have to have a really good light, and you have to have a mirror that comes to you. You don't go to the mirror so that you can see what you're doing. So how do we get this? To do this, let's get started. There are so many reasons you need setting spray, and none of them have to do with makeup longevity. So we're gonna start with setting spray right on to your hand. Get your brush damp. Mine already has a little bit of product in it from doing the other eye. Then we're gonna pull across just once, okay? Start on the outside, pick a spot just beyond the tail of your last eyelash, and commit and draw angling toward your pupil. You're gonna have a line that looks like this. Now never ever go back to the end of that line. It won't be sharp if you touch it again. So just before the point, come down and close that outside triangle, and then fill in all the blank space in between your lashes and on your skin, and fill in the liner, like so. As long as it's damp, you will get a big payoff even from cheap shadows. Don't be afraid if you mess it up. You're gonna have to practice, and you're also gonna be going in and smudging it out, and then we're gonna use concealer to make it more perfect, so don't stress out about it. Again, with a damp brush, you're gonna just go the rest of the distance, but it's going to be in a dot to dot motion. Go as far as you can with the one little pull over the product as you can, and then go back for more. It's a back and forth little dot to dot trip across the lash line all the way to the inside tear duct area, okay? So many of you, your liner starts at the first lash and ends at the last lash, and you're leaving a lot of eye real estate undone. Then clean off your brush and go back in and soften the top edge, okay? You're not gonna go over the whole thing, just the top edge, and just kind of dab at it a little bit until the line softens. The problem with eyeliner stripes is that they create more contrast than the contrast of the iris to the whites of the eyes. So when you create stripes on your face, other people, you don't look at yourself the way that other people do, but when other people look at you, they can't avoid the contrast. It's just how we see the world. So we go right for the contrast, and they're looking literally at the bags under your eyes when you're putting a big stripe right here. You're drawing attention to this area, not your eyeballs. Then when you've micro smudged, you're gonna go in with a little bit bigger brush and a lighter shade. I'm gonna use this matte over here. And then we're going to be very careful not to disturb what we just created, but we want to soften the contrast above it on the outside. You can leave a lot of contrast on the inside, but we want to soften the contrast on the outside. So we just want a darker shade above it so that it's not so stark. Take that darker matte shade a little bit up onto the hood, the fleshy part that kind of hangs over. You want to get a little bit of color on that. Make sure it's blended into your crease color, but keep that darkness out here. All right, so all the darkest shades are going to stay on the outer third of the eye. And then we want to keep this really clean under here. So we're going to highlight it with a little concealer. Tiny, tiny touch of concealer. And then keep everything out here really sharp. Then you need to go in and tightline right in between all the little lashes and make sure that there's no pink space. As we age, that membrane starts to kind of hang down a little bit, and more of your upper eyelid membrane will be visible. So make sure you've gone in and treated that. You can do this with mascara, you can do it with makeup. You don't want to color the whole membrane. It's just going to transfer onto the bottom and make a mess. Really aim for between and just below where the lashes grow out of your skin. When I do a look like this, I like to leave the bottom really clean, but you don't have to. Let me show you what it would look like to just go in and add a little bit of subtle color. But please hear me, you have got to stop putting the black line under your bottom lashes. So we'll take that same shade that we darkened with and just contour underneath all the way from tear duct to tail. And that's just going to give you a little bit of definition. And you can add mascara to the bottom if you want, but please consider your bottom lashes as little innocent babies. They don't need to be thicker and longer. They just need to not reflect light, absorb light instead in order to do their job, which is to keep attention on your eyeballs. So do you like it with the contour underneath, or did you like it better without? And here it is without the beauty filter.